Hey, well, this is Zaccheus with another live word of the day, and I thank you for tuning in. And those who come in for the first time, I thank you. And those who been consistently support me, I thank you as well. Well, on today's episode, I'm talking about 4 reasons why you should stop pleasing people. 4 reasons why you should stop pleasing people. Yes, and there's more than 4 reasons why you should stop pleasing people, but I just narrowed it down to 4. And the thing is that especially people that don't have the same goals, you don't have the same, they're not going in the same direction you're going in. You're serving God, you putting God first, you're pushing towards your goal, but all they want to do is have a good time and party and possibly waste your time. And there's people out there, not only those type of people, but there's people out there that don't even like you, but yet you're trying to please them. Yet you're trying to buddy up with them. They're they're not about serving the Lord. They're nothing, they have no desire to do anything with the things of God. They don't want to talk about the things of God. The conversations that you have with them is about just pleasure. It could be about sports too. Sports. It's that kind of stuff. But anything that has to do with the things of God, they don't want nothing to do with. They don't want nothing to do with. And with certain people, you're walking on eggshells because, and it feels that when you come around them and they come around you, it's like a discomfort because you know why? Because the spirits don't agree. The spirits don't agree. Well, join me as I talk more about, and I'm sharing 4 reasons why you should not stop pleasing people. You should not please people. Live to please people. On today's episode with Zaccheus with another live word of the day. And the number 1 reason is because you got to face yourself. Every time you try to please people, and every time you try to fit yourself in their circle, and God is telling you to don't get into their circle, but yet you try to squeeze and force yourself in, you wind up regretting it. And now you got to face yourself because you're following them, they make you get involved in things that you have no business getting involved in. Yeah, like indulging in pornography or hanging out with people that like to get drunk just to have a good time. And in Colossians chapter 3 verses 32, it says, whatever you do, work heartily as for the Lord and not for man. So you're pleasing them, but you're disregarding your spirit of what the Spirit of the Lord tells you. If the Spirit of the Lord tells you don't mix with that person or don't mix with that group of people, you have to take heed. Because if you don't take heed, in many occasions, you live with the regrets. And there's people that will go against you for someone that they don't want you to be with or someone they don't want you to date. But at the end of the day, only you know how that person is with you when doors are closed. Or only you know how that person makes you feel when that door is closed and nobody's around and just you and her alone are in a room, or you and her alone enjoying each other's company. You gotta live your life. You cannot live your life based on other people's opinions. You cannot live your life based on what people say about you too, about you being with this person. And that could be very well be the right person for you. But you know what? You listen to others and you think the grass is greener on the other side, and then you wind up listening because you listened and you took advice from ungodly people, you wind up regretting letting that one person that was for you go. And if you live your life trying to please people, you'll be miserable. You'll be miserable, and because you're trying to please them, and you're trying to live up to their what they say about you, and you want to be liked, and you want to be liked. And when you're doing something different, and when you stand up from the crowd, and when you're doing something that maybe your family is not traditional way of doing things in your family, and it's not traditional. Well, all your family members, or let's say for example, all the family members went to college and they excel in college, but yet you want to become an entrepreneur, and you want to venture out into other fields, and they're looking at you like, oh, you gonna make any money? No, but God has a special purpose in your life. You don't have to please your family members. If God has placed it in your heart and desires to do something that's different, that's more than yourself, for example, nurture your talent that God has given you, and you're trying to please your family members, remember, at the end of the day, when you close the door, you got to face yourself. Stop trying to please people and listen to God. And we're all made differently, each and every one of us. And we got to support each other, especially if you're in the family, your family's around you, but not every family member is going to support you. That's what you got to understand. Not every family member is going to be for you. You got some members in your family is not going to agree with what you do and the decisions that you make. That's okay. That's okay. Because God made you special for a particular purpose. That's all right. And the conversations that you have with them, they may not agree with what you're trying to do, your goal that you're trying to reach. That's okay. That's fine. Remember, not everything is meant to be shared with everybody, because not everybody can have the same vision that God has given you, the same goal and drive that God has given you to be different. Now I'm going into number two. Number two, because you abandon your own needs. Yeah, and sometimes you would abandon your own needs to please other people, but you're trying to fulfill their needs, but abandon your own needs. Once again, you'll be miserable because you're pleasing them, but you're not fulfilling what you need to fulfill. And that's because they invite you to go on trips, so you have to go. So you want to, in order to please them, you go. You know you have your work to do. You know you have a goal to reach. You know you're trying to save money, or you're trying to put aside some money to open a business, or to invest in an online business, or to invest in some stocks. You know you have a goal, but yet your so-called friends invite you to go out, hang out. There's nothing wrong with going out and get something to eat, but they don't want to do it every Friday night. That means you got to spend money. They want to go out on a weekly basis, but you have a different goal. You're getting older, and you know that you don't want to say that job that you're there for 20, 30, 20 years, and you know that, okay, I want different. So in order for me to have different, I got to make sacrifices. That means I cannot go out and just splurge as much. I got to stay home and work on my craft, or I gotta put aside invest in some things that can make me money in the future. So I can't be spending because I won't have enough to invest if I want to have a future. And the Bible verse, the Bible verse of this on number two is John 12 verses 43. For they love the glory that comes from man more than the glory that comes from God. And that's true. You want the praise and the accolades that come from man, but you don't want the glory from God. You rather, and that's like the Pharisees. The Pharisees in the Bible. They rather look good in front of everybody else, but they don't want to please God. They want to please that. You want to please people. You want to please people, but yet you don't want to please God. You want to please those, but you're not pleasing God. And that right there is like you're fulfilling their desires, but you're abandoning yours. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to emphasize this. Not everybody's going to like you. And you don't have to do anything to them for them not to like you. No matter what you do, they're not gonna like you. That's why you can't please everybody. They're not gonna like you because you possess. Sometimes you have an aura about you where you're walking with the king. You're walking with the king, and you're a man or woman that's seeking God, and you're trusting in the Lord. You're not walking. You're not sheep like sheep following everybody what everybody else is doing, but you're walking with the Lord, and they see a certain thing about you, but they just don't like you. And then when you connect with them, your spirits don't connect. So, and then you try. Then on another top of that, you you have a feeling that is something off with them, and you know that they're not walking with God, but yet you're still trying to fit into their world. You need to stop that. They don't like you, and the thing is that it's awkward when you're trying to form conversations with them because it's off, and you feel an uneasiness in your spirit. God is telling you in a way that you need to leave their presence. Your spirit don't receive their spirit. And I have you ever felt that? I felt that. Leave a comment. Whenever you with certain people, your spirit just has an uneasiness in your spirit, but yet you're trying to fit into their world. I was like that. That's why I can talk about this. And you know that they're not in your favor. They don't. They're not supportive of you. Maybe you may be a content creator. You post things online. You post things on your social media um page that's positive, and they don't like it. They just look at you. They just look at it, but they're watching you. They don't like you, and they don't even hit the like button, or they don't do none of that. But yet you see them all the time. You see them all the time. But when you're around them, it's an uneasiness in your spirit. And the closer you come to that reality, that not everybody, you can't please everybody, and not everybody's gonna like you, the more better you are in your moves, and the more comfortable in your spirit you'll be, and the more understanding of people you'll get, because you have to understand when you, especially when you're evolving and you're getting closer to the Lord, you're praying, you're reading your word, you're obeying His commandments. That, and you know that then every some people they wanted to kill Jesus, and they did. And when you live for the Lord, not everybody. There's gonna be some people that slander your name and slander your name, and and that's a fact. And you know you're a people pleaser when you base number three. This is number three now. When you base your life off of other people's opinions, and God gives you a mind. God gives you how to give you a mind to think for yourself, and we don't have to just listen to people or just please people by listening to them and just leaning on their opinions. That's why we, and you cannot please God if you're gonna please people and just live over people's opinions. That's why it says in Isaiah chapter 2, verses 22, stop regarding a man whose nostrils is breath, for of what account is he? What account is he? We cannot live your life over people's opinions, and you cannot live your life over what people say. They're gonna say whether you do good or bad, they're gonna talk about you anyway. So understand this, that you cannot just live off of people's opinions. That's number three, living off of people's opinions and what they say. They're gonna talk, let them talk. Let them talk. Long as you're pleasing to the Lord, as long as you're getting close to the Lord and you're interceding with God, that's okay. That's fine. Not everybody's gonna support you on your quest. Not everybody's gonna support you. There's gonna be people that you think that they're supporting you, but they're not. They're just watching you. They want to see you fall. They want to see you crumble. They're waiting to see you make a stumble and make a mistake. and they have a hatred for you, but you don't know it. You don't know it. Understand this, that, and you're trying to please them. Understand that you cannot please everybody, because not everybody's for you. There's some people that will smile in your face and stab you in the back. They smile in your face all the time. They want to take your place. The backstabbers, backstabbers. Like the old just sing about the backstabbers. And that song that came that was 1973. And then another song came out in what, 1971? Smiling faces tell lies. They don't tell the truth. Smiling faces. They tell lies. Some of them tell lies. They don't tell the truth. And that's a fact. So not everybody's for you, but the only way to know that is discernment. God, when you're getting close to the Lord and you're following God, He gives you discernment of the Spirit. And He fills you with discernment of the Spirit to know, to give you a sense that, okay, my spirit is uncomfortable with this person around me. I feel an uneasiness with this person around me. God will give it to you. And finally, number four, you lose yourself. You lose yourself. Yeah. How you lose yourself? By pleasing others. You don't know who you are because you're busy trying to live up to what they say about you. You're busy, you're leaning on their opinions about you. So you lose yourself and become miserable because God didn't tell you to please people. God tell you to please Him. God tell you God give you a mind of your own to live your life and to seek Him and to worship God, not to please people and live off of their opinions. Some of us try to live up to other people's opinions, and some young people try to live up to their parents and just envision what they're supposed to do in life, and they try to live up to their parents, protect their parents' opinions, and then next thing you know, they wind up being miserable. Why? Because they're not living to what they don't want to do that, but because their parents say they have to do it, and the parents have this put this pressure on them to do what they want them to do, and they wind up being miserable. They wind up being miserable because you're trying to please them. Remember, at the end of the day, when you close the door, you got to face yourself in the mirror. Now, by you not being yourself and you trying to please them, you're doing yourself an injustice. Now, the live word of the day is coming out of Ephesians chapter 5, verses 10. Try to discern what is pleasing unto God. Try to discern what is pleasing unto the Lord, not unto man. But this is Zaccheus with another live word of the day. God bless and be safe out there. Peace and blessings.